So today we're going to have a closer look at the little brother of Huawei's P30 family, the P30 Lite, as we have here and here. Now, as you might expect, the P30 Lite does scrap some of the top features found on the P30 and P30 Pro, but overall it does keep the general feel. Now, the Huawei P30 Lite will be shipping from Clove Technology in pearl white, peacock blue and midnight black for £329.99. So head on over to our website to check that one out. So what exactly does this device do? Well, I took it out and about to have a closer look. At first view, the P30 Lite certainly looks and feels like a Huawei device. For a so-called budget phone, the display is mightily impressive, even in direct sunlight. Now, the 6.15-inch Full HD LCD panel is hindered only by a small dewdrop-style notch, allowing for an enjoyable 90% screen-to-body ratio. I've particularly enjoyed watching videos, and whilst not quite up to the standard of its flagship counterparts, for this price point you won't find much better. With a 1080 by 2312 pixel resolution at 415 pixels per inch, colour reproduction is fantastic and images are crisp and bright. The P30 Lite also comes with TUV Rhineland Eye Comfort certification, designed to be easier on the eyes for a more comfortable viewing experience, particularly in dimly lit backdrops. To the rear, the peacock blue variant of the Huawei P30 Lite has that trademark gradient finish which we're big fans of here at Clove. If that's less to your liking, then the pearl white and midnight black colours are more understated and certainly less obvious to smudges. Now, at 7.4mm, the P30 Lite also has a noticeably slim and light profile, and in the hand it feels much more premium than the price tag might suggest. The 3D curved glass creates a great grip and really helps with one-handed use, even with small hands like mine. Unlike its siblings, the fingerprint sensor of the P30 Lite is actually to the rear, but it does work surprisingly quickly. Whilst the P30 Lite obviously had to cut it back, the in-screen sensor is something that we would have liked to have seen kept within a budget edition. That said, the P30 Lite does come with Face Unlock, so you might not need it anyway. Now, Huawei have undoubtedly become synonymous with providing an exceptional photography experience on their smartphones, and you'll be pleased to hear that the Huawei P30 Lite is certainly no different. A triple lens setup features on the rear, consisting of a 48-megapixel main lens with an f1.8 aperture, a 2-megapixel depth sensor with an f2.4 aperture, and lastly an 8-megapixel ultra-wide lens with a 120-degree field of view. The images that I've managed to take with this device are considerably better than I've taken on any other devices at this price point, and I cannot praise it highly enough. AI scene recognition technology is as good as you would expect of a Huawei device, and can recognise 22 different categories, including flowers and food. From this, settings like colour, lighting and contrast are automatically adjusted to produce some very impressive images. Pictures taken using the wide-angle lens are also very good, although there is slight distortion around the edges of these images, as you might expect. Either way, detail and crispness are great, and this is a feature that I would use a lot, particularly whilst capturing landscapes. Now, it is worth noting that if you're shooting with AI turned on, or in wide-angle mode, that the maximum resolution for pictures is 12 megapixels. In comparison, you can enable 48 megapixels while shooting normally. Now, the P30 Lite can also capture images from distance, comparable to a 2x optical zoom lens. Hypersampling lossless zoom tech enhances a 48-megapixel Ultra HD lens to be turned into a super zoom lens, and the results have been more than respectable. Video can also be recorded in 1080p at 30 frames per second with electronic image stabilization, however certainly isn't as steady as you would find on the P30 Pro. Now, if selfies are more your thing, then the 32-megapixel front lens of the Huawei P30 Lite is really quite something. Huawei's AI tech also features and beautifies self-portraits based on your unique face shape and type. This tech supposedly maps the contours of your features and creates a custom algorithm to ensure that you always show your best side. Now, the front camera can also recognise more than 8 different categories in real time, adjusting the background of your images accordingly. You can also blur out backgrounds if you so wish by enabling bokeh through the camera app, or add in depth after the photo has been taken. Departing from its bigger siblings, the Huawei P30 Lite runs Huawei's HiSilicon 710 processor, along with 4GB of RAM. This is certainly more than enough to keep up with the average user, but you may see a bit of lag if jumping back and forth between more demanding apps. That said, Huawei's processing tech, powered by GPU Turbo 2, supposedly enhances performance for a faster, smoother and more powerful gaming experience. The P30 Lite also runs Android 9 straight out of the box, with Huawei's EMUI 9 skin, which has received some complaints but I can't say I've had any problems with at all. The 3340 mAh battery is generally decent for a so-called budget device, and I'd be very surprised if this didn't get you through the day. Alongside this, the P30 Lite does have that 3.5mm headphone jack that so many devices are missing now, as well as support for a microSD card of up to 512GB. There is, however, no IP rating. Now, the Huawei P30 Lite will be available from Clove Technology on the 25th of April for $329.99 including VAT, in midnight black, pearl white or peacock blue, so make sure you head on over to our website to check that out. Subscribe to our channel for all of the latest news and reviews and check out our social media pages for more. Thank you all for joining me, and I'll catch you again next time.